You are watching Let's Talk About It. I have with me a dear friend and a brother in Christ who I have known. We've known each other, what, 35, 40 years?
Since the late 70s.
Yeah, so when we were mere children. Yeah. And this is Captain Paul Cheek, and you are with the Long Beach Fire
City of Long Beach Fire.
City of Long Beach Fire, and you operate out of which house?
Firehouse 19.
And you have been a firefighter for how many years?
38 years.
38 years.
Got promoted to captain in 2000.
That's wonderful, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I first met you when you were 18, I think?
Yeah, 18 years old. I was chasing a baseball dream then.
Yeah, so we've known each other a long time. We are sharing with you today about safety in the home, especially during the holidays. There are, unfortunately, you get called out to fires in homes.
Correct.
That were either started because of large cooking endeavors and grease fires and things like that, or Christmas tree fires. You see a lot of that, sadly.
Been on several.
Yeah, so we're talking about that because we want you and your family and your children and your pets to have a wonderful, safe time of celebrating with your families and your loved ones during Christmas. So we're just reviewing things that a lot of people, we think we know fire safety, and yet, you know, you're cooking in your kitchen and you left the room for a minute, you came back, and all of a sudden you forgot that the flame was so high, and the oil that you had in the pan caught fire, which is designed to do after a certain temperature. It's highly flammable. Just because we use it all the time doesn't mean it isn't dangerous. And boom, it's gone into combustion. You've got a big flame. And a lot of people, although they know what they should do, instead they get panicky, and now they're grabbing the handle and moving it across the kitchen to the sink and then hitting it with water, and it splatters all over. And if you've got cute little kitchen curtains, they're going to go up in flames. And if you spilled some of the oil that was on fire, now your rug that you have on the kitchen floor is on fire. So what do you do if you accidentally had the oil in your pan catch on fire? What is the safe, smart, wise thing to do?
You have a cooking glove, put it on, and try to always have the lid to that pan close by, and just put the lid on it.
Yeah.
That'll smother the fire, take the oxygen away from it, technically speaking, and put the fire out.
Yeah, and that way your kitchen cabinets haven't caught on fire. You haven't been transferring flaming oil. You know, it's just so important. So every time you cook, just get in the habit of every time you cook, pull out the lids that fit the pots and pans and just have them in arm's reach. It could save your home. Something else I want to mention that I was reading on here, we both have notes of safety. Nighties and pajamas, please be sure and look into and be sure that your children's pajamas and nighties are fire retardant, that they are safe and won't catch fire. I had a little friend when I was in elementary school, beautiful little girl named Deborah, and her right leg, the foot, and all up to her hip, she was horribly scarred. I mean, and growing was tremendously painful for her. She was having surgeries all the time because the skin was so mutilated from, her nightie had caught fire. She had climbed up on top of a kitchen cabinet to reach something high. She was maybe 10 years old, and her nightie caught the flame under a pan that was cooking. Yeah. And then I knew a couple other kids who had bad burns from hot soup or boiling water that had flipped over on them. So always be sure that the handles to your pots and pans are turned in toward the oven so that there's no danger of little ones reaching up and not only burning their little hands, but pulling a pot of boiling water onto their little faces or their bodies or really hot soup that sticks to their clothes and is burning them as you're trying to get the clothes off and they're screaming. So we want you to be safe. So you had some other things about, oh, you were going to show these stickers.
Yeah,
These are really important.
last episode segment, we talked about putting the stickers on the doors for your toddler. So when the firemen crawl down the hallway, we know there's a little one in there and they can't get out on their own. And also, they have them for your pet.
Oh,
So, you put it on the window or near your front door and we can come in and go, hey, we're looking for a dog. Most of the time, dogs get out.
yeah.
They're pretty good. The cat likes to go hide and that sort of thing. And some birds, they can survive and we can grab the cage and bring them out as well. So obviously we all love our pets. They mean the world to us, and it might be worth doing something like that.
And when we place these on doors or windows or this pet one, maybe even on the front door, so that as they're coming in, they know they're not just looking for people, but they're looking for your fur children. This could be on the front door right by the handle, so they see
or
it.
the front window.
Front
So you
window.
don't mess up your nice door.
Yeah, but you want these also in the house with this is a toddler alert. Or you could have something that's red and round like a bicycle light thing, something, but you have it on the lower part of the door, maybe 6-8 inches from the floor, because smoke in a house rises. So you wouldn't want to put it at the top of the door because it could be covered with smoke. You want the firefighters who are coming in low for their own safety, you want this to be on the lower part of the door so they can see it and know that they're looking for.
And you guys can buy these on Amazon. I think this was $5. Pack of these were $6.
Yeah. So, and you get a pack of them, right? Yeah, wonderful investment. And then we did mention last time, and we want to mention again, have a plan of escape for your house. So that everybody knows you sit and as a family. And parents, it's important that however many kids you have, mom and dad, you decide if the alarm goes off, dad's going to get the 2 bigger, heavier kids, and mom, you're going to get the 3-year-old and the baby. So that you're not out on the front lawn and then you're both saying, I thought you got the baby. I thought you got the baby. And then one of you wants to run in the burning building and we don't even want to think about it. So that's part of the escape plan is as parents decide who's going to get which child. So you know as a team what you're going to be doing that's most effective for your family.
If we arrive on a fire scene, say a house on fire, and the family is outside, one of the first things we do is as we're going in to put out the fire, we'll ask the mom or the dad, is everybody out? No, my husband tripped and fell. I don't know what happened to him. Okay. And they don't go in to get him. We go in to get him.
Yes.
So that kind of thing.
Yes. So important. I had something here that, never pour water on a grease fire. As Captain Paul said, you put the lid on it. If there's a fire in the oven or in the microwave, for goodness sakes, don't open the door to see how big it is or how bad it is. It could just come right at your face. Just keep the door shut and turn things off, right?
Turn it off, and if you have a fire extinguisher, you can maybe crack it and squirt it in there and then shut the door real quick.
And then you wanted to mention about earthquakes, just
Yeah, we live in
California.
California. Earthquakes can be scary. If you are outside, stay outside. Stay away from buildings. Watch trees that may topple or power lines. Look up. If you're in your vehicle and you're driving, pull over to the side of the road to the shoulder. Set your emergency brake. Now we have cell phones. Go to a station or something. You can find out what's going on. Always have a pair of shoes in your car. Like women, if you wear high heels at work, have a pair of tennis shoes you can put on. You may have to walk a long way. And if you're in your house, here again, have a safety plan. Now, if you have an earthquake, you do not want to go outside the house. You want to stay in the house. If you've got a big, sturdy dining room table, get under that. Or stand in the doorway. They can be safe. one of the things that happened in the Northridge earthquake several years ago is all the homes out in the valley there had the high chimneys.
Yes.
And those were the things that toppled and caused a lot of damage. So if that chimney is over your family room, don't go into the family room.
Don't go into the family room.
So just a few things on that.
Yeah.
And have, maybe have an extra clothes or a bag you can grab right away, so you have something to do. I always thought if you have the earthquake, I'll get to my garage, and that's where my camping gear is. I might have to go outside and set up a sleeping
you
bag
never
and all
know.
that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not going to get into the preparation stuff here, but just little tricks that may help you.
Something else too, for those of you who live in a mobile home, my husband's name is Paul, and Paul and I have discussed which doorways to stand in and which to not stand in.
Yeah.
Our home would have the capacity, if there were just a huge earthquake, a 7+ something, our home would have the ability to split in half. So there are certain door jambs that we would not want to be standing in, and then there are certain door jambs that
good.
are solid, going to stay, and they're in a safer part of the home. So that's something you want to think about if you live in a mobile home, about which doorways are no, don't stand in them, and which doorways are safe. And you just brace yourself, you kind of straddle and have your feet as wide as your shoulders and hold on and have your back against and ride it out if you can't get under a big table, as Captain Paul suggested. So,
And then be patient, because we're going to be responding to all kinds of stuff. If you need us, try to be self-sufficient as you can.
yeah. So you had some other things that you...
Yeah, just things like that. We talked about on the last segment, the ABC extinguisher. Make sure you have one under your sink, ready to go at all times, charged, and then make sure your smoke detectors are all working. If you hear the chirp, change the battery. If it's hardwired in, that means it's there all the time. You really never hear a chirp. Change those every 10 years. That's easy to forget.
Yeah. And something else you might think about is we have in our home a loud, you could see it from outer space, the color. It's a pink, neon pink, and it's a 3-ring binder. And in there are our most important documents. One sheet of this, one sheet of that, anything that has numbers, codes, passwords, bank numbers, anything. And we have that in a drawer that's right by a main exit door, because people think, well, I've got my computer, I've got this or got that. Trust me, I was in a fire. Half my apartment was on fire. You run out with the clothes on your back, and that's it. You're running for your life. There's no time to go get the computer, go get the laptop, go get there's just no time. And trying to do that with the way, remember, in the first segment, we reminded you that fire doubles in size every 5 to 7 seconds. So you don't want to think that you're the fireman and, I can handle this. That is not a smart phrase.
That's why we're there.
Yeah. Something else that I think people should think about is not having bars on your windows of your home, because you want to be able to, if there's fire in the hallway, and Captain Paul reminded us, you put your hand on the door this way, not this way, and you don't grab the handle to the door, because if there's flame out there, the heat will have come through on this side. You could get a bad burn on your hand. You feel the door, and if it's warm, you do not open that door. Don't even think about it. So all of a sudden, what does that mean? How do you get out of your room and get out of the house? If you have those, what are those things called that are at football games and baseball games, those noisemakers that everybody just...
Air horns.
Air horns. Have each kid have an air horn.
Yeah.
In the room there, and they blow the air horn several times and yell fire, and then teach them how to break a window, how to wrap their arm in a sweatshirt or something and turn their face away and break a window with an elbow and then take a book or something and smash out the glass and then put a pillowcase or another blanket over the windowsill and then climb out. And if you're on a second story, you were saying there are different kinds
Yeah, they make safety ladders. They're made out of chain, and you can throw it out the window and shimmy down it.
it hooks on the window.
Hooks on
and
the
then-
window
yeah,
ledge. Yes.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, and you mentioned the bars. They make them now where you can push them open from the inside.
Okay.
But people from the outside can't get in.
yeah,
They're pretty cool.
because that has caused some
Yeah.
devastating, tragic
Yeah, years ago they were
years
pretty
ago.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
And screen doors, if you have the kind that has a key, well, have the key right there on a nail next to the door so that you're not locked in, you can't find the key, and you can't get out of your own home if it's on fire. It's just,
Right.
these are things you
All
want.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you really want to be thinking about that. Should there be priorities for parents when thinking about a fire and when thinking about escaping? Is there do this but don't do that? Or are there things that you've seen that, gosh, if they would have handled it this way, we wouldn't have these tragic endings? Or,
Just everybody get outside. If you're this time of year, your Christmas tree catches on fire,
Mm-hmm.
you know, don't try to be the hero. Just get everybody out. That's hero enough right there.
yeah,
And get out there and be safe. And everybody has insurance, and things can be replaced, and rooms can be painted. And get us there as soon as you can.
yeah, yeah.
And we'll clean it. We'll make a mess, but we will clean it up.
Yes, yeah. And it's really important you have maybe shoes by the door, or so your
Yeah,
feet are
if you could have
especially
shoes.
if you have to go
or-
out the window, you want to have shoes
Yeah,
because there
or
could be glass out there that you broke out.
yeah,
So you want to have tennis shoes by the window there.
by the door, or say they're in your car and you
Mm-hmm.
keep a set of keys or something to open the car, or in your garage, you can go
Yeah.
in and grab them.
Yeah,
You know, it's always good to have a pair of shoes hanging
yeah,
around.
yeah. And people should never try to run back in.
Yeah, never. If you think you forgot something, don't go back in. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. And like I mentioned a little bit ago, if you think you left your little one, let us know and we'll go in.
Yeah,
We've got the safety gear. We've got the bottles we breathe through, so we don't have to breathe that bad air.
yeah,
All it takes is a couple breaths of that hot air gas, and you can pass out in a hurry. Now you're part of the problem.
no, you're,
So,
yeah. I know the fire that I was in when I was a newlywed, and our apartment caught fire. It was a U-shaped apartment. The door was here, and you went in, and here was the living room, and then it wrapped around to a little dining area, and then the kitchen. So it wrapped that way, and then from the front door this way, the bedrooms were back here. And we had been loaned an old floor heater that had a cloth wrapped cable, you
Yeah.
know, and we had run it the first night, and it kept our room warm. And my new husband, went in to get it going about an hour before we were going to go to bed. He thought, well, why not warm it up then? And we were all the way around in the horseshoe, and I was doing Christmas cards and everything. The back part of our apartment was on fire, and we didn't even realize it because of the shape of the house. And it was quiet. We had Christmas music playing, and I was doing Christmas cards, and he was running water and doing things in the kitchen, and we were talking, and the lights flickered. And it was a very old apartment, so I thought, oh, well, you know. And then they flickered again, and I came out part way to see, why are the lights flickering and what's going on? And then I saw the hallway was full of smoke, and it was starting to come into the living room. I ran out right away, picked up the phone, it wasn't working. I ran out and ran down to the neighbor to call. And then when I looked back up, the windows were exploding out, huge flames, and I thought, my new husband's up in there. And I went running back up the stairs, and he was passed out.
Yeah.
Because like you said, just a few whiffs of that stuff. And I grabbed him by the feet. I dropped low and I grabbed him by the feet and started pulling him to the front door and got him out. And the fireman showed up. But, well, strong. Yes, I've always been very strong, praise God. But the adrenaline.
Yeah.
The adrenaline is. But he had tried to. He did everything wrong. He had dumped our big trash bin that he always insisted we have in the kitchen. He had dumped that all over the floor and then had been trying to fill that large thing up from the kitchen sink while the apartment's on fire, and he's staying in there. No, 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 no. And then he dragged it over toward the fire and tried to dump it all over, and it was an electrical fire.
Yeah.
Hello. and then as he reached, he had better sense to know, gee, I should probably close that door on that room, because the whole thing was engulfed in flames by then. And the heat burned all the hair. He had very hairy arms, burned all the hair off, burned his eyebrows off, and he burned his hand badly on the doorknob, and then he passed out. So it's just, you can do so many things wrong so fast that will work against you or even kill you. So you can't emphasize enough, get out, get out, get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they made it real easy for us. Get out and call 911.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So,
can't emphasize it enough.
yeah, we just really want you to be safe. Are there any other things we need to review?
I think it kind of touched upon a lot of stuff,
Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for watching today. Please pass this program, session 1 and session 2, on to your friends. Just get on your Facebook or whatever, or your Twitter, and just do share, 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 share. And send it, because we want all of you to be blessed and safe. And what about Christmas lights? Have you seen fires caused by Christmas lights? And are there?
Sometimes I've seen where old Christmas lights wrapped around Christmas trees, the heat from the light have caught the Christmas trees on fire.
Yeah.
As far as the Christmas lights on the outside of your house, the light, no. But sometimes the imagination of the at-home installer of the lights, the way they plug them in, can short circuit a electric circuit, and that could cause some smoke and flame. But not bad. That's why the power strips are so handy.
Yeah. Should people have their Christmas lights on while they're not home?
Yeah, I think you're okay.
It's okay?
Yeah, and I think if they're plugged in through a power strip from your Christmas trees into the power strip, then into the wall, you're pretty safe.
Okay.
You
But
know.
what about having your Christmas tree lights on while you're not home?
Yeah, I think with today's lights and today's power strips, I think you're okay.
You're okay.
My house, I'm not going to turn them on until I get home.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not going to, just like I'm not going to leave candles lit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just running to the store. It's just 10 minutes. What if there's a minor earthquake? California, we get rumblers at 3.5. Nobody thinks a thing of them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the ground is burping. We don't think anything of it. But that could tip over some candles that you've got going. And all of a sudden you come home, having been in a fire and watching my dwelling become blackened and flames shooting out of the windows.
Right.
You do not ever want to have that experience, and we don't want you to.
They've got timers you can put your trees on now, and
Yes.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, all kinds of things. Safety, safety, safety.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, should people have fire extinguishers in their cars?
Yeah.
I know my dad was always big on that. and-
Yeah, you can do that if the fire catches in the engine compartment. The cars are pretty darn safe today. You
Yeah.
can hit it and put it out, or help a neighbor
Yes.
or a friend or somebody out if they need
Yeah.
help with a fire extinguisher.
I saw my father come to the rescue of more than 5 drivers in
Yeah.
my lifetime, where, a car was just starting to go to flames. It was smoke, bad smoke, but just starting to go to flames. And he would pull over on the freeway safely and then get over there and instead the engine area needed to be fixed, but the whole car wasn't.
But here's something.
Destroyed.
Do not attempt to put an electrical car fire out. Just
that's
get
interesting. Tell
away
us-
from it. The electrical batteries that burn, they cause a toxic smoke, and you can breathe that smoke and harm your lungs for the rest of your life. So just walk away from it as quick as you can.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
they're a heck of a fire to
Wow.
try to deal with.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't in Long Beach, but fire departments have had Teslas catch on fire, and they've taken hours for the fire to be put out, and so
And that's
they-
with pros working on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So even if you're outside, you have to be all masked up to be protected
Yes,
for,
yeah, before you even get close.
that's like a
It's the
hazmat
batteries,
issue.
and it's hard.
Wow.
The batteries, most of the time, if this is the vehicle, they're underneath.
Yes.
And it's hard to get in there to put them
Yes,
out, and
yes.
it's a real hazard. So there are some companies that are selling these blankets, these big blanket, and you basically throw the big blanket on top of the whole car,
Wow.
and
Okay, yeah.
and sooner or later it'll go out. But what you want, basically, what they're doing, they're preventing it from going anywhere else.
Yes.
They had a fire department in Arizona. They actually picked the electrical vehicle up with a forklift and took it and put it in a container, like a shipping container down in the port, and filled it full of sand.
Yes.
And it burned in there for days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And since
So-
you mentioned blanket, I've seen several commercials, and we're playing Beat the Clock again.
Yeah.
But there is a special fire retardant blanket that I've seen advertised on TV. I'm researching it. I'm sorry I can't tell you where to aim your efforts, but they come in different sizes, and you can have them there in the kitchen and just open it up and toss it over whatever's on fire.
It's pretty cool.
And it's very cool.
I've never
So
seen that
that's
either.
another
Yeah.
good thing to know about. It's very, very cool. Paul, thank you so
Welcome.
much. I love you so much.
Yeah,
I
love you too.
appreciate you, and blessings on you and those you love this Christmas time. And we wish you a happy new year also for 2024. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm Jackie Priestley Moody. You've been watching Let's Talk About It, and we just say, may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. And remember, Jesus is the reason for the season.